Know the difference with Annex Wealth Management? Tom Parks, Director of Retirement Plan Services at Annex. He and his team work with a number of companies to help their employees save, invest, and plan for retirement. Welcome back.
Greetings, Danny.
Title of the article I saw was The 5 Most Underrated Benefits of 401k Plans. Really? Underrated benefits. Tom, we're going to talk about it.
Yes, we are, Danny. I'm super excited about this one.
Yeah, I think you're going to react in an interesting manner to some of these. All right. Higher contribution limits than one might think. Is that underrated?
I think it absolutely is. So for one thing, you can contribute a lot more to a 401k than you can an IRA, for example. So $23,000 is the max limit unless you're 50 or older, in which case you can do another $7,500. All of this is subject to non-discrimination testing in the particulars of a plan. So we're talking big picture here. But another one, Danny, that wasn't even kind of in the article, but pertains to this specifically is Roth contributions in 401ks. A lot of people forget that the income limitations do not apply in the case of a Roth 401k. So if you're someone who has a level of income that keeps you from putting money into a Roth IRA, this might be a great avenue for you to go and not only do the Roth, but put even more than you can in an IRA. So lots of cool stuff going on with the high contribution limits.
That Roth thing that's not a secret weapon, but that's kind of a secret weapon.
It is interesting how many people don't realize that that's the rule. To this day, I get surprised sometimes when I'm like, no, yeah, you can do that. So definitely look into that if it's something that sounds new to you.
Underrated or overrated 401k benefits. Automated low-cost investing. Is that underrated?
I think this is probably among all of these my favorite one because, we talk about friction. You and I have talked, there's this book called Nudge that I really enjoy. It's just talking about getting people to do things. You think about Amazon, pressing the buy button, trying to make purchasing as easy as possible. This is kind of that version of it. It's like pay yourself first before you even get the money, pay yourself first. So yes, automated, you decide how much you want to save, goes into the account before you get a chance to spend it on some other thing you probably don't need. And generally speaking, it is lower cost because you're buying in bulk with your plan. So really, really a lot of cool stuff going on there.
Title of the article, The 5 Most Underrated Benefits of 401k Plans. We're getting Tom's opinion on this. He is Director of Retirement Plan Services at Annex. Number 3, access to low-interest loans if you need them.
Danny, we were doing so well. And then they had to bring this one up. I'm not a huge fan of borrowing from 401k plans. So for one thing, your plan would have to allow it. I've done everything I can, and it's been pretty easy keeping loans out of the 401k plan here at Annex. And I do the same. I might make that recommendation to our clients. Some have them, some don't. Just be very careful. A 401k plan has a specific purpose. That is to save for retirement, not to act as a piggy bank. So I'm not as big of a fan as this one as they are, but whatever. We'll take the good with the bad.
Benefits of 401ks. Some are underrated. Portability, is that underrated?
I think it is because back in the day, transferring money, the legal mechanism was always there for rollovers from one qualified account to another, but actually getting it done was a little more of a pain. And that with technology has become a lot easier. I think I'm still surprised to this day, Danny, how many people leave their 401k plan where it was, and then they end up literally forgetting about it, which just blows my mind. So portability, much, much easier than it used to be. And I do recommend that once you leave your employer, you take a look at your account and try to figure out what you're going to do with it.
I think my 401k is one of my oldest friends. I mean, really, yeah. I've dragged it from place to place.
Well, I know how you feel, Danny, for sure.
Yeah, that's right. 401ks, underrated, overrated benefits. Number 5, great for early retirement. Is that underrated?
Well, yeah. So there are some provisions inside of a 401k plan, for instance, and again, plan by plan, it varies, but most plans these days allow in-service withdrawals at age 59 and a half. There are some other early withdrawal provisions having to do with age 55. But yeah, having access to the money, whether you are actually retiring or you just want to gain access to it as you approach retirement, this is good, particularly, I think, from a financial planning perspective. As the 401k guy, you'd think, I'm always pro 401k. But I do think as people get closer to retirement, taking that money and getting more control over it by rolling it into an IRA is something worth considering. And 401k plans tend to make that pretty easy for people.
Okay, you added one. Can I add one?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, all right. To all the company owners, CFOs, and HR professionals out there, 401ks might be an underrated benefit, but they absolutely are not.
They are not, Danny. These are such great tools, not only for recruitment, retention, but we talk a lot about financial wellness. this is the hub of the financial wellness drive within a company. You know, we do a lot of engagement on my team. It's my most favorite part of the job is helping people take advantage of this benefit. It's one thing to put a 401k plan in place, but if it's not actually benefiting the people on your team, then what are you doing? You know, so let us help you make the most of the benefit that you're doing, because they really are awesome. Just like we've just touched on a few things here today, then there's so many more.
Yeah, I always like talking to you about this. So they are. Tom, somebody needs to get a hold of you. What's the best way? From LinkedIn, maybe?
LinkedIn is a great place. Obviously, our website is another one. We're pretty easy to find, Danny.
Yeah, Tom Parks. He is Director of Retirement Plan Services, Annex Wealth Management. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny.